Hey guys, today I'm going to be reading to you the third lesson for the ULS topic for February. I know we're a little bit behind, but that's okay. Remember, we're still learning about alcohol, drugs, and tobacco. So today our article is titled Alcohol and You, Get the Facts. So this article is going to be all about how alcohol might affect your body and your mind. So alcohol is a drug that people use. Remember how we talked about how, sometimes we are so desensitized to some things that we see, like alcohol and smoking, that we might forget that they're actually a drug and they're not very healthy for people. Beer, wine, and liquor have alcohol in them. In the US, you must be 21 to drink alcohol. So that's a very important fact right there. If you drink alcohol when you're 18 or 19 or 16, you are too young to drink alcohol and you are actually breaking the law when you do that. Your thoughts about drinking may be because of what your family believes. So this is a big one. A lot of how you feel and how you think just in general is influenced by what your family believes. If your family drinks all the time and it's just a social thing and they almost do it every night, you might think that drinking is no big deal. If your family never drinks and they think it's unhealthy, you might never do it, or you might be like, I need to do it because, you guys are squashing what I want to do or anything like that. But a lot of how we think and how we feel in general is influenced by what our family thinks and feels and believes. It's also influenced by what you see on TV. A lot of us are really into TV. We watch a lot of TV shows, we watch a lot of movies. Like I said, in the media, we see a lot of drinking and we see a lot of smoking. And so, if our favorite characters are doing those things, then maybe we might think that looks kind of cool, or it looks, like something you might want to try. And you're going to be influenced by what you see others doing in general. So if you're in an environment where drinking is the normal thing to do, you're going to think it's the normal thing to do. Remember, alcohol can change how you feel. So it affects your brain. Alcohol can make you angry, it can make you happy or sad. And it really just depends on, the time you drink. One time you could be happy, one time you could be sad. Drinking too much, though, can be dangerous. So remember, we talked about it's okay to drink once you turn 21. It's legal, it's fine, but you have to do it safely because it can be so dangerous for your body and your mind and for those around you. So remember, alcohol can change how you think. It can change how you see with your eyes. Alcohol can change how you move, just like in our other story. Remember, our character kind of stumbled around and he fell and he got hurt and everybody pointed and laughed at him. And drinking too much can be dangerous again. Sometimes someone may ask you to drink alcohol. Drinking or not drinking is your decision. Talk to a trusted adult and get the facts. So just like we talked about before, what goes into your body is your responsibility. You're in charge of you. Remember, there's one person in this world that you are responsible for. It's yourself. So drinking or not drinking is up to you to decide. Just like in a few of our other stories, that character in the first story, he didn't really want to drink, but he didn't tell his friends that. So if somebody keeps buying you a drink and you just keep drinking them without saying, no, I don't want that, that person's going to think you want them, right? Remember, we're not mind readers. You have to tell people how you feel. So here are the words that were in this quick little story. If you want to pause here and look those over. Scoot your thing down so you can see it a little bit better, but you can pause here to review the words. We're also going to look over this, which I'm glad you have a printout of because it's kind of small and hard to read on the screen. So let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger for us to see. So this is how alcohol affects your body. So the first little top box up there says alcohol use can lead to addiction. So I know people have heard that word before, but really an addiction is something that a person feels like they can't live without. The important word there is feels like they can't live without. Most of the time they can live without it, really, right? But they feel like they can't. So some people do have an addiction to alcohol, which means they feel like they can't live without alcohol. But people have addictions for a lot of things, for shopping, for food, for drugs or smoking. There's a lot of addictions, and they don't all have to do with drug use or alcohol or tobacco. So addiction happens when a person's body is so used to having that alcohol that the body has to have it. People with alcohol addictions don't always make smart or safe choices for themselves or those they love. So that's important too. So when you have an addiction, in this case, we're talking about alcohol, it doesn't just affect you, it affects all those people around you, the people that you love, right? If you've ever been around a person with addiction, it's not pleasant. You might not want to be around that person, and it really affects your relationship with them. So now we're going to look at this person up here, and we're going to move from the head down to the legs. So if we look over on this side, there's one that looks like a brain. So we'll look at that one first. So alcohol makes you think, act, and feel differently. So it affects your brain. It makes you feel or think, act, and feel differently. And for some people, small amounts of alcohol can make you feel relaxed. So some people really like that feeling of feeling relaxed. But more alcohol makes your brain work slower and makes it hard to make good choices. So if it makes your brain slower, it makes it hard to make good choices. For instance, do you think it's a good idea to get into a car with somebody who's drank some alcohol? No, because if their brain works slower, they're not going to be able to react appropriately to oncoming traffic or pedestrians walking in the street, or even just the act of actually driving. So never, ever, ever get into a car with somebody who's drank alcohol. Let's move over to this one who it's kind of pointed at her eyes. So alcohol makes it hard for your eyes to work and see clearly. It can be hard to see people's faces, street signs, or obstacles. So again, you think it's a good idea to get into a car with somebody that drinks alcohol if they can't see street signs or obstacles? No, not at all. Let's move over to this one that looks like a heart. So drinking too much alcohol can make it hard for your heart to work and can sometimes lead to a stroke. So remember, our heart is what pumps in our body, and it pumps the blood all around, the blood that your body needs to live. It also carries that oxygen that we breathe all around our body. So if it's making it hard for our heart to pump, our heart rate might slow down because it makes us relax. And our body isn't getting enough oxygen to the parts that it needs to. So when your body doesn't get enough oxygen to your brain, that means that maybe you could have a stroke. So don't drinking too much alcohol might make it hard for your heart to work. We go over here, I think it's still kind of pointing up at the top of the chest, but your liver's a little bit lower. That's a picture of the liver. It says drinking alcohol makes it hard for your liver to work and help your body stay healthy. So if you don't know what your liver is, it's another organ. And what it does is it filters out bad things from your body. So if you flood it with too much bad things, too much alcohol, it can't filter those bad things out of your body. And it's not really good for your liver. It can't help you be healthy if it's working too hard. Let's look at this one. It's kind of down at the stomach. It says drinking too much alcohol in a short period of time can cause alcohol poisoning. That includes severe vomiting. So I don't know about you guys, but I do not like puking no matter what the circumstance is. Even when I have the flu or something, it's not enjoyable. I don't know anybody that likes puking or vomiting. Unconsciousness, which is like passing out or fainting. I don't know anybody also who would want to go from sitting or standing even and become unconscious. If you fall, that could cause some aches and pains on your body and other places. It could cause seizures, which is basically when your brain can't handle things and there's kind of electricity happening in there. We mostly see, when we think of seizures, we think of people uncontrollably shaking. That doesn't always happen, but that's just an example. Or it can even cause death. Go back to the other side, to this one. Drinking too much alcohol can lead to weight gain because alcohol, for the most part, has quite a few calories in it. So people that drink a lot typically can gain weight. And the last one down here says drinking alcohol can make it hard for you to walk or move like you normally do. You may fall or run into things when you drink too much. Just like that guy in our first story, remember? He fell down because it was hard for him to move around. So if you want to pause here and cut out those strips of paper for being responsible, and then we're going to talk about some of those things. So you can have your child or your student cut them out and glue them on where they think they fit, and we'll talk about them a little bit. So we'll just start up here at the top. Do we think getting a ride with somebody who has been drinking, is that responsible? Is that the right thing to do? Or is that not responsible? Getting a ride with somebody who's been drinking. That is not responsible.
Get a ride with someone who has been drinking.
You should never get a ride with somebody who has been drinking. It's not safe. They cannot make good decisions about driving. See what the next one says. Practice ways to say no. Is that a responsible choice or not a responsible choice? So is that the right choice or the wrong choice? So practicing ways to say no
Practice ways to say no.
is a responsible choice. We talked about in the last article or lesson that it's really hard sometimes to say no to certain people. It's hard for me to say no to my mom, right? I talked about that. It might be hard to say no to your friends, right? If they're all drinking and they seem like they're having a great and fun time, but you don't want to drink and they keep buying you drinks, sometimes it's hard to say no to those kind of people. So it's good to just practice that skill. Let's see. Let others choose if they want to drink alcohol. Do you think that's a responsible choice or a not responsible choice?
Let others choose if they want to drink alcohol.
That is responsible. The same way you don't want other people to choose for you if you drink or do anything, right? You should not pressure your friends into drinking if they don't want to. You don't want somebody, come on, please just do it. Please, come on. You don't want somebody doing that to you, right? So don't do it to other people. What about this one? Is this responsible? So a good choice or not responsible, a bad choice? Drink as many drinks as everyone else in your group. So that is not responsible, right? You should drink as many drinks as you want to drink. If your friend drank 8 beers and you're like, I have to keep up with them or I have to drink the same amount, that's probably not a good choice for you, right? So drink whatever you want to drink. Don't drink what everybody else is drinking. What about drink alcohol before I am 21 years old? Is that responsible, a good choice, or not responsible, bad choice?
Drink alcohol before I am 21 years old.
That's kind of a bad choice, right? We talked about that. That's breaking the law. That's illegal. Let's see. Say yes to drinking even if you don't want to. Is that a responsible choice or a not responsible choice? That is not responsible,
Say yes to drinking even if you don't want to.
right? If you don't want to drink, say no, no, or practice that skill. If you don't want to drink, say no. What about drink alcohol only if I'm 20 years old or 21 years old or older? Is that responsible? Not responsible.
Drink
Responsible.
alcohol only if I am 21 old years or older.
So only drink if you're 21 years old or older. That is responsible. What about this one? Drink only 1 or 2 drinks. Is that responsible, making a good choice? Not responsible, making a bad choice. I do not know why that's not wanting to go in there. That is a responsible choice. Drink only 1 or 2 drinks because you're not going to get too drunk or sick or anything like that if you are responsible and you only drink a little bit. What about this one? Tell others they should drink alcohol to be cool. Is that a good choice or a bad choice? So responsible or not responsible? That is not responsible, right? Don't tell others to drink. They can make that
Tell
choice
others they should
themselves.
drink alcohol to be cool.
Last one. Get a ride with someone who has not been drinking. Is that being responsible, making a good choice, or is that being not responsible, a bad choice? That is being responsible. Good job. So I'm going to have you guys do this drinking pledge on your own at home. So read all the choices that you could put in here. I do hope that you guys learned a little bit more about being responsible with alcohol and making good choices. I will see you next time for the next lesson. Bye.